Hello students, in the last class we had learned about the kinds of letters, the first module of the business communication skills. Today we are going to start with the next topic, that is trade inquiries and replies. So whenever I say inquiry, it is the first step in the business world. Okay, it is a starting point of a business. Say for example, if you want to purchase something, you go to a shop and you ask for that. That itself is an inquiry. And if you want to see a movie, you go to theater and check whether that movie is playing or not, or you first check the what you call this apps about the reviews. So those are all informal inquiries. In the same way, in the business terms, the inquiry is nothing but the to know the prices, the quality, the terms of such, like rate of discount, mode of payment, mode of transport, and freight to be borne, etc. Okay. So whenever you are purchasing some goods from the business purposes or for home purposes, will you not inquire about the prices? Will you not inquire about the quality? And if there is some discount, will you not inquire the discount? How we want to make the payment, that also you inquire. You inquire how it will be sent to your home, like mode of the transport, by air, by road, by railways, and the transportation cost. Who is going to pay that transportation cost? That is the freight to be borne. So this is the meaning of a inquiry. So what are the important points which are to be noted while doing an inquiry? Okay, so there is one saying, they say goods well bought are half sold. So goods well bought or half sold means whenever you are purchasing the goods at good price, at higher rate of discount, and any other concession possible, you as a businessman can sell it for profit. Okay, and moreover the goods should be of a superior quality. So therefore the goods, always they say the goods well bought are half sold. Okay, so what we normally do, if I want to purchase, say for example, we are in the production of some metallic industry and we require tin foils or steel foils for the manufacture of the goods. So what I will do, I will go to 4-5 shops. I will inquire about the requirement, the size of the sheets, what is the price. I get the quotations from them, and once I bring the quotations, I compare all the quotations with each other. Then we select that quotation which contains the most competitive price and which is most favorable terms of the business. So letters of inquiry are written for various purposes. So they are written in various styles also. So it is like if you want to give some specific common method how a letter should be written, there is no specific common method. Every letter written for the inquiry is good as far as it satisfies the needs of the businessman. So but however, we can make out what are the points necessary to be mentioned in the letter, so that you only once the letter is sent and you will be getting the full information about the product. So the first point is the kind of the quality of goods required. Okay, so if the buyer knows what is the quality of the goods which you require, you have to describe them. Okay, so what happens is you may be wanting some other kind of things, some other quality of goods, and the seller is having another quality of goods. So when you both are not on the same page, that time what happens, the goods which you are going to get may not be the as per your requirement. So the buyer should write clearly about the goods he requires in his letter of inquiry, so that any further correspondence is avoided, any workman hour loss is avoided, any miscommunication is avoided. And the next one is the probable quantity of goods he wants to purchase. So how much goods you want? I have seen numerous examples. When we go to certain shop, we ask the price and we ask him to give one product, and he rejects, telling that no, we only sell in bulk. So that time what is happening? The energy is getting wasted, the inquiry is getting wasted. So that is the reason the buyer should give a complete idea about what are the probable quantity of goods, how much he want. Okay, and more often what happens is, if you are purchasing more number of goods, the prices are going to be more competitive and they are going to be more favorable terms. So you can easily say, we might have seen the people talking, I am taking 10, you kindly give some discount. I am taking hundreds of these pieces, you give some discount. So it is very important to mention the proper quantity of the goods you want to purchase. The third very important thing which you have to mention in the inquiry letter is the prices of the goods. So the buyer should know the prices of the goods he wants to buy. Okay, so what happens is, many a times it is seen that the people who have newly joined the business, they don't ask for the prices, and when finally the goods are ordered and the invoice or the bill is generated, then they get shocked that what is the price. So that is the reason it is extremely good and important to mention or ask for the prices of the goods. Okay, so he should ask. Many a times what happens, the prices may be mentioned in the catalog or advertisement of the seller. That time what you can do is, you can ask for the prices which are not mentioned, or you should also ask the time for the delivery of the goods. I'll give one small example here once again. Say for example, you want to deliver the retailer has asked some requirement to you, and he told within 2 days I want those goods. So you are placing the order with the manufacturer, but the manufacturer may say that the goods will arrive after 7 days. So after 7 days the customer would have won, because the customer wants you to deliver the goods before 2 days. So at that point of time what happens, it becomes very important for you to ask the time, what is the time of delivery, what is the mode of delivery, and where the delivery will be done. Are they going to deliver to your home? Are they going to deliver to your shop? Are they going to deliver to your warehouse? Are they going to deliver to any other location? Like sometimes what happens, the parcels which are sent, say for example a parcel is sent by a bus from Bangalore to Hubli. Many times what happens, the parcels are not delivered to the home. You should go to that bus point or the travel agency, and you have to pick the parcel yourself. So at that point of time what happens, if you have clear idea prior itself, you can manage the things more correctly. The next one is he should ask for the samples. Okay, he should ask for the samples. Many a times what happens, the goods are graded according to the quality and priced according to the quality. Say for example, there are three grades of good. Grade A prices 100 rupees, grade 2 is priced at 80 rupees, grade 3 is priced at 60 rupees. The good you require is of grade A, but you have ordered for the good of grade C looking at the low price. That time what happens, even if you are getting the material for the low price, it may not be useful for you and it may eat up a lot of time, because again you have to return, again you have to order new, you may have to cancel the order. So many complications are involved. So it is very good that the buyer should always ask for samples if he is a new person dealing with those goods, or the seller of those goods, if he is not sure about what kind of quality. Nowadays, if you see, most of the things, if you are going to purchase apples, the street vendor normally cuts a small piece of apples and he offers himself, see how sweet it is. Even the same in the case of mangoes, even in the same in case of bakery items. If you go to bakery, he will offer you, see how good it is, then you can purchase. So that is what the sample, getting the sample is very important. Okay. And the next very important thing is if the goods are supplied in cash or credit. So what is the meaning of cash or credit? Say for example, the goods are arriving today, you have to pay the amount by cash, that is cash. No, the goods are arriving today, but you are going to make the payment after 1 month, or you are going to give the check, post-dated check, or you are going to convert it into EMIs. That is called as a credit. So here you should very clearly ask what you are going to deliver the goods. What are your payment terms? Is it cash and carry or is it credit? Why cash and carry and credit is important? Many a times the sellers are having different set of prices for cash and credit. Number one. Number two, many sellers have a strict business policy that they will always sell for the cash, no credit. Number three, many sellers even may have a business policy that they want to increase the sales irrespective of the revenue generation. Like revenue will come irrespective of cash or credit. So that is the reason it is very important for everyone to ask whether the person is going to sell for the cash and or the credit. Then you can ask for the mode of packing, how the packing is going to be. The glass items, you might have seen, the glass items are packed in such a way that the glass is not broken during the transport. The electronic items are packed in the bags which are smooth in nature, so that the damage or scratch is not done. So what kind of packing you are going to give? And see, many a times what happens when you are getting the goods, there is an insurance involved. Say for example, you are getting the goods from Bangalore to Hubli. So something happens, some mishap happens with the transport this one vehicle. Who will be responsible for the loss incurred? If you have done the insurance company will pay for the loss. That is the reason many a times, almost 80 to 90% of times, the goods in transit are insured by certain company and it is chargeable. There are certain insurance charges. You should ask very clearly that those insurance charges should be paid by the seller or should be paid by you. That is one thing. Then the packing charges are to be paid by the seller or to be paid by you. That is also one of the very important point. The next thing is, what is the size and frequency about the future orders and volume of business expected. Now, why this point is required? You may have seen that you are going to some shop, he may give you some discount, like 100 rupees article, he is selling it for 80 rupees. Next dialogue or next conversation will be, you may ask, people ask, feeling that no, give us for 60 rupees. Next, in future, again we are going to come to you. Every month we will come to you, we will buy this article from you. So what they are trying to do? They are trying to catch the best deal possible for them. So this will, one thing is, this will give you the better offer from the seller. Second thing is, this will show that you are optimistic about your business and gives confidence to the seller of these goods. He may extend a credit facility, he may give it for credit, or he may give some other advantages seeing your confidence, optimistic outlook. That is one thing. And the last one is, we should give the details of the what you call the lowest quotations by assuring about the future business. That is one thing. Normally what they do, you tell, see, I am going to purchase it every month or every 15 days. So please give me the lowest quotation. This way, what happens, you can do. So some things, some mistakes or some do's and don'ts, what people do and what they should not do. We have seen the inquiry letters which are in huge length, 1 paper, 2 paper, 3 papers, many words, huge sentences which are not required only. So as we are going to business, time means money. So you have to respect the time of the person, opposite person, and make it compact as much as possible. Make it straightforward and make it compact. At the same time, make sure that it is courteous. This is first do and don't. And one more thing is, whenever you are writing a letter, repeat the points. Repeat the points once again. In the first para I have written, I want 15 quantity of goods. Again I am writing 15 quantity of goods. In first para I have written, no, I want this quality of goods. Again we are repeating the same quality. So that time what happens? The repetition increases the length of the letter. So what we have to do? We have to read it or write it once, and it should be clear cut. We should avoid the ambiguous words. Now what are the ambiguous words? Ambiguous words are those words which give two meanings. Those are called as the ambiguous words. So the seller may get confused, or he may not take you seriously when you are using such ambiguous words. So better you use positive tone. You tell, yes, we will buy, and you should look confident, yes, you are going to buy. Every seller wants serious customers. No one wants just the window shoppers. Okay, so that is the reason. And the last point is, the slavery words should be avoided. I have seen many letters. Even students use these words a lot of time. I beg, I please, yours obediently. These words are not required in the business. You should understand both of you are at the same level. So never use such words. Just make sure that the letter is complete in all the respects. Without all such words, you should not demean yourself. You should neither demean the another person. Both of you should be shown in the equal stature in the business letter. Okay. So here I have given some of the opening sentences which you can use right away in your letters. Should your quotations are most competitive and favorable, it is we would be pleased to place our first order with you immediately. So you can see the statement is very clear. It is not ambiguous. It gives only one meaning. What is that meaning? Your quotation has to be competitive. It has to be favorable. We will give you order immediately. So you can see the if condition is there and followed by the positive tone. So this is what is expected in a business letter. Then you can see the another. We would really appreciate an early reply. So what does this show? Early reply. Early reply shows you are serious about the business. You are not just doing it for time pass. You want to do business with the seller and you are in urgency and you are serious. See another. Please quote your lowest prices for the goods. That means what? I am trying to buy the good the good quotation for myself so that I can increase the profit margin, or else I may also pass on the benefits straight away to the end customer. So again here the another line, will you please send us the samples of the goods? So it is quite common, they ask for samples, especially if the new customer is there. Samples, if you are not certain about the quality, you can ask the samples. Then you can see again some sentences are there. Will you please let us know terms and conditions? So you try to figure out here, we are asking him right away, we are asking, give us the terms and conditions. It should not be that we are going ahead with a deal and finally when something is turning out, suddenly the terms and conditions are in such a way that we may not be able to abide by those. So we are asking them the terms and conditions. You can see another the tone here. Since we have decided to give you regular business, we are sure and confident you will quote your most favorable terms. So you can see how confidently you are trying to buy and you are trying to get the very competitive quotation or very competitive rates. We would really appreciate your early reply. This is also one of the sentence. So the closing sentences of the letters, some examples I have given here. You can straight away use these examples. The first closing sentence example is, in case your terms and conditions prove to be most competitive and favorable, we shall place our orders with you only. So you can see very straightforward message, and there is nothing like ambiguous thing in this one. You give us good competitive favorable conditions, we will place the order with you only. And next is, as we are in position to deal on a large scale, we trust that you will quote competitive prices and most favorable terms and conditions. That means what? We are not a small company. We may be taking right now in small quantity, but in future you can see us as a potential big person, big business, and we can order you in large scale. So give us the most favorable quotation. So another line is, please quote your lowest prices in order to enable us to facilitate further orders regularly. So these are some of the closing sentences. Okay. So we are done with the letters of the inquiry. Now the letter of the inquiry has arrived at the businessman, the person who is going to sell the goods. How you are going to reply? See, the reply of the letters is very important if you want to continue the business cycle. So here are some of the very important points which you must take care before replying. One is all the inquiries should be replied promptly. Okay, so in same day you reply or the next day. Even if you don't have that stock, say for example, I might have asked for some goods which right now you don't have. You should tell that you don't have the stock right now, and you will try to get the stock in future if the buyer is going to give you some time. Whatever the reply is, the reply has to be done. Okay, what will how it will help? One is it shows that the seller is serious about the business. The business reputation will build, and similarly the inquirer also will be impressed that the seller's prompt reply will hold the seller the inquirer will also be impressed by the seller's prompt reply. This is one thing. Next is the very important thing which many of the people do not follow, that is the reference date and the number of the letter. See, as a businessman, you might have sent letters to so many people on that particular day or in that particular month. So when you are getting the reply, you may be in a position to know what reply you have got, or you may not be in position to know for what letter you have got the reply. So to make it clear, the seller should write very clearly to what letter he is replying. I am replying to the letter dated this, and what was the reference number of the letter. In the last unit, I have told you the reference number of a letter, which is a very important characteristic of any business letter. Okay, and the letter, whatever you are replying, it should be in cheerful tone. Now, what is the meaning of a cheerful tone? Cheerful tone means you are happy to do business. It should not be sarcastic. It should not be pessimistic. It should not be filled with sorrow. What should we do, sir? So many things are there. No, you show happiness in the business. So cheerful tone, and you should address all the queries. Read the inquiry letter very carefully and address all the queries. The reply should be convincing. So what happens is, so many times, see, the reply is done to make sure you are going to continue the business bonds with the buyer, or you want to get the business done from the buyer. You want to get new customers. So the reply should be convincing to the buyer to make sure he is going to buy your product. The relevant information should be mentioned. Whatever the information is being asked, all that information, like the description of goods, prices, advantages, favorable terms, everything you should mention. And you should also express the hope that the prices and the quality what you are quoting, they will be approved by the buyer. So you should mention all the information. The terms of business should be mentioned very clearly and they should be mentioned concisely. Like what may be the time required for the execution of the order, how you are going to send the delivery, what are the terms of payment, what is the discount you are giving, what is the mode of packing, and what are the packing charges, etc. Everything should be mentioned very clearly. The seller should thank the inquirer. He should thank the inquirer for giving the business opportunity. So these are some of the important points which should be noted while replying to the letters of the inquiry.